Alfa Romeo. Did you know Alfa Romeo's logo features a giant snake with a man? Sounds shocking for a luxury Italian car brand founded in 1910, right? But once you know the history, it actually makes sense. On the left side of the logo is a red cross, taken straight from Milan's flag, the city where Alfa Romeo was born. On the right side is the strange part. That snake is called the bison, a symbol of the Visconti family who ruled Milan in the 14th century. Many believe the snake is eating a man, which looks pretty dark, but others say it's not eating him at all. It's giving birth to a new man, representing renewal and rebirth. Lamborghini. Few automotive rivalries are as legendary or as personal as Lamborghini versus Ferrari. It all started in the early 1960s when Fuio Lamborghini, a successful tractor manufacturer, bought a Ferrari. However, he wasn't impressed, especially with the clutch. So, like any bold Italian businessman, he complained directly to Enzo Ferrari. Ferrari, known for his ego, dismissed him and said, "Stick to tractors." Big mistake. Naturally, Fuio took that very personally. Not long after, in 1963, he started his own car company to rival Ferrari, and he made sure the world knew it. As a tourist, Fuio chose a bull for the logo. He also loved bullfighting, admiring the animal's strength and determination. The specific bull is a Mura, a breed famous in Spanish bullfighting. Mercedes-Benz. The story of the Mercedes-Benz logo starts over a century ago with a simple postcard in Germany around 1872. Gottlieb Daimler, one of the founding fathers of the modern automobile, drew a small three-pointed star on a card he sent to his wife. Daimler felt the star was a good luck charm for the company. It is believed that Daimler envisioned the star as a symbol that would one day represent his company's dominance in land, sea, and air transportation. Fast forward to 1909. After Daimler passing, his sons Paul and Adolf remembered their father's symbolic doodle. They submitted the star design for trademark, turning that quiet family memory into the official symbol of Daimler Motor and Gazelle Shaft, which would later become part of Mercedes-Benz. And by 1926, when Daimler merged with Carl Benz's company, the three-pointed star was polished into the sleek emblem we recognize today, now encircled and paired with the Mercedes name. Hyundai. Many people think the logo of the South Korean company Hyundai is just a fancy letter H. And yes, it is the first letter of the brand's name, but there's a bit more to it. Look closely and you'll notice the H is slightly slanted, almost like it's leaning forward. That's because it actually represents two people shaking hands. One is a customer, and the other is a Hyundai representative. It's their way of saying nice doing business with you without needing a single word. Even better, the oval around them symbolizes the company's global reach, like a friendly handshake that spans the world. Interestingly, the company's very first logo in 1969 looked quite different. It had a car window-shaped oval inside a circle with the letters H and D, short for Hyundai. Audi. At first glance, Audi's logo, for silver rings, might seem like a modern art piece or maybe just a fancy Olympic knockoff. However, the story behind it is far more complex. In 1932, for German car companies, Audi, DKW, Horch, and Wanderer were struggling to survive during the Great Depression. So, they did the smart thing. They teamed up to form a new company called Auto Union. To represent their unity, they designed a logo with 4 interlocking rings, one for each brand. It's kind of like a classy version of the Avengers, but for early German automakers. Fast forward a few decades, and Volkswagen eventually bought Auto Union. Instead of ditching the history, VW kept the 4-ring logo and brought back the name Audi. Toyota. Did you know Toyota started off making weaving machines, not cars? Before building cars, founder Saki Toyota made his mark by inventing an automatic loom. That early success eventually led to the birth of Toyota Motors in 1937 and a whole new legacy. Fast forward to 1989, when Toyota introduced its now iconic 3-oval logo on the Celsior, just in time for its 50th anniversary. At first glance, it looks like a stylized T, but there's more going on. The 2 overlapping inner ovals represent the heart of the customer and the heart of Toyota coming together. The large outer oval, that's the world embracing the brand. And what's more interesting is that the individual parts of the logo actually spell out the letters of the company's name. Another detail worth mentioning is that if you squint a little, you might even spot the eye of a needle with thread, a subtle nod to Toyota's humble beginnings, beautifully woven into the logo itself. Ford. Everyone knows Ford's iconic blue oval. symbol. It's been around since 1927, and while it's recognizable, let's be honest, it's not the most thrilling part of Ford's logo history. No, the real star here is the Ford Mustang. Surprisingly, the famous running horse logo didn't actually debut on the Ford Mustang you're thinking of. Instead, on the Mustang I concept, it first appeared back in 1962. A totally different car with a rear engine and a futuristic speedster vibe. It barely even looked like a Mustang. But things get even stranger. Later that same year, Ford revealed another version, the actual concept of the Mustang we know today. But guess what? There was no horse on the front. Instead, it had a Cougar badge because the car was still being called by its original name, Cougar. Eventually, Ford changed the name to Mustang, but even then, the logo wasn't locked in. At one point, they even considered using just a horse's head, like a chest piece. Thankfully, that didn't stick. Finally, Ford approved designer Phil Clark's full running horse, and it made it just in time for the 1964 launch. Ferrari's iconic logo, the prancing black horse, isn't just a cool design choice. It actually has a heroic backstory rooted in aviation and legacy. The story begins in 1917 during World War I, when Italian fighter pilot Francesco Baracca painted a black horse on his aircraft. It became his signature, a symbol of courage and victory in the skies. Sadly, Baracca was killed in combat on June 19, 1918 after 34 aerial victories. But the legacy of Italy's top fighter pilot didn't end there. Fast forward to 1923. That's when a young Enzo Ferrari, then a rising racing driver, met Baracca's parents at a race in Ravenna. They admired his spirit and suggested he adopt the prancing horse as a symbol of good luck. Ferrari agreed, but made one key change. He placed the horse on a bright yellow shield, the official color of Modena, his hometown. By 1932, the now iconic logo made its official debut on Alfa Romeo race cars run by Scuderia Ferrari. And when Ferrari began building his own cars in 1947, the emblem came with him prancing proudly on every machine. Saab. Ever seen Saab's logo and thought, why is there a crowned chicken on it? Don't worry, you're not alone. But it's not a chicken and definitely not a rooster. That creature is a griffin, a mythical beast with the head of an eagle and the body of a lion. And it didn't just appear out of nowhere. The griffin comes from the coat of arms of Count von Kana, a historic symbol tied to the southern region of Scania, Sweden. So, how did this legendary beast end up on a car badge? In 1969, Saab, originally an aerospace and defense company, merged with Scania Vabis, a truck and bus manufacturer. This partnership gave birth to the combined name and logo Saab Scania. The griffin was borrowed from Scania's emblem, representing strength, nobility, and Scandinavian heritage. The co-branded badge appeared on Saab cars throughout the 1970s to early 2000s until the two companies split in 1995. Even then, the griffin remained refined and modernized, but still wearing its gold crown proudly. BMW. At first glance, BMW's logo looks simple, a circle split into blue and white quadrants. But for decades, people believed it represented a spinning airplane propeller. After all, BMW did start out making aircraft engines, so it made sense, right? Well, not quite. Let's rewind to Germany. In 1917, BMW was founded during World War I, and its main business was indeed building aircraft engines. But the famous logo, that didn't actually come from planes. Instead, it was adapted from the emblem of Rapp Motor and Werke, the company BMW evolved from. The blue and white colors inside the circle represent Bavaria, the region in southern Germany where BMW was born. So, how did the propeller myth begin? In 1929, BMW ran an ad that cleverly placed the logo over rotating airplane blades. It wasn't meant to change the meaning, just to highlight their aviation background. But the public instantly assumed the logo was a propeller, and BMW, perhaps wisely, never corrected the misconception. It wasn't until much later that BMW clarified the truth. And when the company redesigned the badge in 2020, making it flat and modern, they kept the original colors and layout as a tribute to their Bavarian roots and early history in aviation. Rolls-Royce. The spirit of ecstasy, the small statue on the hood of every Rolls-Royce, isn't just a luxury symbol. It's also surprisingly high-tech. On newer models, it automatically retracts into the hood if someone tries to remove it. The story behind the statue is just as interesting. It was modeled after Eleanor Thornton, who worked as the secretary and secret romantic partner of John Montague, one of Rolls-Royce's earliest supporters. Because their relationship had to stay hidden, early versions of the statue showed Eleanor with a finger over her lips, hinting at their private affair. Sadly, Ella Laner died in 1915 when the ship she was on was sunk by a German U-boat during World War I. Still, her image lives on through one of the most iconic symbols in automotive history. As for the badge, the overlapping RR stands for the company's founders, Charles Rolls and Henry Royce. Tesla. At first glance, Tesla's logo might just look like a futuristic T. But look again. It's actually a clever nod to the very thing that powers their cars. According to Elon Musk himself, the Tesla logo represents a cross-section of an electric motor. The vertical line is the rotor, and the curved line above it is part of the stator. So, yes, it's not just stylish, it's nerdy in the best way. And let's not forget the name. Tesla is named after Nikola Tesla, the genius inventor who helped pioneer alternating current electricity. Musk's whole brand is built around Tesla's legacy of innovation. From zero-emission cars to rockets and AI robots that may or may not take over the world. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching.